Center, first of two straight between the Lakers and Jazz. Both teams shorthanded, battling it out until the end. Mind you, no Mitchell, no Conley, no Gobert. The Lakers without AD and LeBron. LeBron's former teammate Jordan Clarkson in for Utah, and he was relentless. The three, that is clutch. Look at this again. He stepped into the shot with confidence. So the Jazz take a 2-point lead. Now, with 8.7 seconds left, Lakers drawing up one final play as they trail by 2. Dennis Schroder making his way. Lays it up at the rim to tie the game. Now the Jazz quickly inbound the ball. And Clarkson with the opportunity for the three at the buzzer, no good. So we're going to head to overtime in this one. Lakers now leading by 3. Getting big performances when it mattered the most from Schroder, who throws that alley-oop pass to Andre Drummond. Then 2 minutes later, Drummond hits the floater in the lane, goes for 27 points, 8 rebounds. Lakers with a 7-point lead, and less than a minute later, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope gets a steal, pushes to Schroder. Perfect behind the back pass to Caldwell-Pope, who lays it in. He landed hard on his right leg, but he is able to walk off the floor on his own power. He finished with 25 points. The Lakers go on to win this one, 127-115.
Hey Andre, there was that cold stretch in the fourth quarter, and just wondered what you guys focused on to get out of it. With this kind of part of the screen roll action with you and Dennis, and how that ended up getting you to overtime.
You know, guys, that's a great question. I think for me personally, I spoke about this before, trying to find the chemistry with guys on the court. And, we found something that really worked for us down the stretch of the game, and we kept going to it, and they didn't stop it. So now we know that that's something we can use down the stretch of games and throughout the game.
And Andre, such a unique look with Utah, the way they played tonight, of course, almost 5 outs the entire game. What adjustment was that defensively, and how did you guys eventually get to that, cutting it out to the overtime?
We just played. We paid attention to the defensive schemes. Everybody was on one string. Obviously we made some mistakes throughout the game, which brought them back in that fourth quarter. But when it's time to lock in, we found a way to come out with a win.
And then just wanted to ask you about the toe. Obviously you missed the last game. Frank said it was something you got to re-aggravated and stepped on again. How did you get through tonight's game, and how do you think it'll go moving forward?
I think I'll be fine. It's something that obviously is going to take some time. Anybody that knows what that injury is like knows it's not something that happens overnight. So sometimes it does flare up every now and again, but more times than not, I'm taking care of it. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do to make sure I can be out there on the court. And moving forward, I think I'll be fine.
Hey, Andre.
Kyle Goon.
Hey, what's up, man? Appreciate the spirit always. I saw you wave to some fans after the post-game interview. Saw the streamers come down. I love LA. What's it like to experience a little bit of what a home win is like with fans at Staples Center?
With the fans being in the arena, it was kind of a surreal moment for me because, I've been in this arena on the opposing side, and, seeing them win and seeing the streamers come down and seeing the excitement and the energy in the arena, and to be on this end and see what it's like, it definitely was a great feeling. It's something that I want more of.
Yeah.
Hey, Andre. What have you made of Dennis's sort of competitive spirit in your limited time with him so far? What did you see from that? From him trying to dunk, I think it was in the fourth quarter, to kind of just his play down the stretch.
Dennis is a competitor. I've played against Dennis his whole career. I've got a chance to, watch him and play against him, and he's always been that way his whole career. And to be his teammate now and see it firsthand, he's an incredible player. He doesn't give up. He plays every possession like it's his last. And defensively, he's far more, advanced than people give him credit for. He's incredible defensively. He's great on both ends of the court.
Andre, 2 quick questions. One, Frank said someone aggressively stepped on your foot in Brooklyn. What happened exactly?
I can't remember. All I remember is I think I was going to the basket and I got double teamed and I got crushed. So.
And then to follow up there, unrelated, you go 7 for 8 from the free throw line today. Has there been any adjustment that you've made since coming to the Lakers, or was this a good day for the line? How do you credit that?
Just the focus. I know that that's something that I have, against me throughout my career, and I've gotten better at it throughout my career. Being here now, having a clean slate, and with no, extra people talking in my ears, to just focus and being at the line and shooting the shot that I know I can make.
Is
got time for a couple more, Michael Borton.
Yeah, Andre, as Dave was just saying, 7 of 8 from the line, 27 points, a couple steals, a block. Was this your best performance, you believe, in a Lakers uniform? And how is that chemistry you mentioned coming along so far?
I think tonight was a good game for all of us. I think for me personally, I think it was a pretty solid game. I just played my game. I'm just out there to, help this team the best way I can. As a unit, we clicked on all cylinders. We didn't allow adversity to, get us out of our game, because they did have a hell of a run down the stretch of the game to, tie the game up and actually take the lead, and put us in a position to almost lose the game, with DS coming down with that great layup to put us in overtime. So, the chemistry's getting there. We're taking it day by day, and we're having fun as we do it.
Nick Hamilton.
Hey, Andre, congrats on the win. You guys pretty much outscored the Utah Jazz in overtime 17-5. As you continue to build the continuity and the chemistry defensively, how much is that encouraging, and how much does that help you guys moving forward?
Yeah, we hang our hat defensively, and that's the reason why I'm really here, is to help defensively. And on both ends of the court, we're doing everything we can to build that chemistry. We have a lot of guys that are hurt right now. I think the guys that are on the court are doing an excellent job of coming in and really playing very hard to help us win games.
Correct, Dan.
Andre, can't let you go before we ask you about running fast breaks. I think you had like 2 or 3 in a row in the third quarter, and you kind of, after the last one, sort of fell into Phil Handy's arms. I mean, how tired were you in that time? And how fun was it to show that kind of part of your game?
Man, that's something that I'm very good at, which is being in the passing lanes and getting my hand, on the pick and rolls to steal the ball. So, to have that happen 3 times in a row was definitely very tiring, going back and forth, and side to side. So I definitely was very, very exhausted when that timeout did come. So I'm glad Phil was there to catch me.
News for Lakers fans. Anthony Davis cleared for full contact. Davis, 28, sat out Thursday's game against the Celtics. He's unlikely to play in the Lakers' upcoming 2-game set against the Jazz Saturday and Monday, according to their head coach Frank Vogel. The coach adding, it's not out of the question for Davis to make his return against Utah. He's been out since Valentine's Day, February 14th, with a calf strain and a tendonitis in his right leg. Max, what is at stake for AD without LeBron?
Well, there are a couple things. Let me say one, I always thought AD had a chance to be the greatest power forward ever, right? That's Tim Duncan. But given where the level AD was playing early in his career and how many years he'd already done that, once he started winning championships, I figure maybe he can give Duncan a run for his money. And Stephen A., I know they're not power forwards the way like Barkley or Malone were power forwards, but because they also are rim defenders, they're kind of 4-5 hybrids. But still, and Duncan, I thought, is the guy, and AD had a shot at that. Stuff like winning championships is really important. And if AD can't keep the Lakers afloat in LeBron's absence, that's going to be harder to do. But I think there's something more immediate in terms of, obviously there are team goals, Stephen A., but the more immediate thing for me in terms of AD, what I want to see from him is when last seen healthy, he was the best big in the game. AD was the best big in the game. And by the way, he proved it against Jokic when Denver got past the Clippers. And Jokic is an MVP-level player last year, right? AD was better. AD's a two-way player. But something's happened since AD's been out. First of all, Jokic has raised his game. Jokic probably going to win the MVP this year. And Embiid, game for game, has been the best player in basketball this year. He's raised his game. So when AD comes back to the league, when he's getting his legs under him, his sea legs, on the way to the playoffs, hopefully staying healthy and really getting in basketball shape for the playoffs and trying to get in rhythm, it's unclear to me if he's still the best big in the game. That's what I want to see. I want to see AD come back and by the end of this season convince me that that's still the best big in basketball.
Anthony Davis, when healthy, is arguably the best big in basketball. He's certainly in the conversation. He's one of the top 5 players on the planet. This dude is a career 24 and 10 dude with nearly 2.5 blocks per game. He has never, ever in his 9-year career shot worse than 49% from the field. If I have a concern about Anthony Davis, it's 2 things and 2 things only. Number one, it's his health, because he isn't considered to be the most durable person in the world. Obviously so. Number two, his three-point shooting has dipped over the last 3 years. Used to be at around 34%, went down to 33%, 32%. That this season before he got hurt, he was shooting 29% from three-point range. Okay? That has to change. He's going to have to get better in that regard because, again, you have physical big dudes in the Western Conference, and they know that's the way to get to him. Now, the best thing the Lakers could have done, you got to energize a bunny in Montreal's Herald now as his teammate. He's no longer a Clipper. He's a Laker. But the other issue is that Andre Drummond, that's a big-time pickup because you got a big boy who's capable of throwing his body around against the Jokic's of the world and others. And so because you have that, now you have Anthony Davis being able to be a spy, helping to patrol the front court, not to mention what he brings to you offensively, and none of those dudes take away from him offensively because they're not looking for the basketball. They'll hit the boards to grab offensive rebounds, create extra possessions. They'll hit the boards on the defensive side of the ball to prevent teams from getting more than one shot, which ultimately gives you more opportunities when you get the ball on the offensive side of the ball as well. So I think we recognize this about Anthony Davis, and I think that with him and LeBron healthy, we all anticipate that they're going to the finals to face the Brooklyn Nets, even though the Philadelphia 76ers and the Milwaukee Bucks swear they'll have something to say about that. I think when you look at Anthony Davis, for me, it's his health, which I'm not convinced he's fully healthy. And the other thing is his three-point shooting, because he would need to hit some of those outside shots. He can't shoot 29% from three-point range and expect the Lakers to do the kind of damage they did last year in the postseason.
Yeah, look, you're talking about what he needs to do in team goals for the Lakers, and that's really what to be concerned about right now. What I'm saying, Stephen A., is you're like, well, he's arguably the best big in basketball, certainly one of them. Yeah, no kidding, right? But is he the best? Because when he got hurt, he was the best big in basketball. If we had to say, oh, who's been the best big in basketball over his career, last 3 years, last 5 years, when last seen, it's AD. It was AD.
Hold on, Molly. Molly, help me out here, Molly. Am I wrong, Max?
Yeah.
I never recalled you calling Anthony Davis that. I recalled saying that. I thought you said the Greek Freak, and I thought you said Joel Embiid. A matter of fact, there were now you did acknowledge that Anthony Davis had a chance to be the greatest power forward that ever played basketball. But when you talked about bigs, you never had him as the best.
Well, I certainly did. It's a fluid list, but I certainly did. And if it's not the best big, it's because we're defining bigs as centers who get down in the paint like Embiid. There aren't that many more of those guys really left. Giannis, at times, as you know, I had very highly
because
rated.
You had the Greek Freak, and he wasn't that dude. He was never that dude, but you had
Giannis,
the Greek Freak.
I had very highly rated, as you recall, and you like to remind me.
Yes, you did. Jokic and Embiid, but not the Greek
very
Freak.
highly rated. I did think, especially after last year's playoffs, what AD and LeBron did, AD was the best big in the game. When last seen best big in the game? Well, okay, we can go back and look. That's what I thought, if you don't remember me saying it.
No,
yeah.
I don't.
Yeah,
no.
Because Jokic and Murray got to the Western Conference Finals, where they saw LeBron and AD and showed them what the next level looks like. Okay. The point is, he's coming back to a league where Jokic has raised his game, where Embiid has raised his game. I'll remind you what I told you off the top of the show. Embiid's offensive and defensive ratings, plus his usage rate, if the season ended today, he would have numbers no one's ever had. The only other guys on the list with him in the top 5 are Michael Jordan 3 times and KD once. He is having a phenomenal season. He's in the best shape we've ever seen him in. He's on a team with shooters, and that's constructed to help him. And so both ends of the floor, not like Jokic where you go, yeah, offensively maybe he's the best, but what about the defense? And AD's got defense. Embiid's doing it both ends of the floor. No, I need to see AD reestablish himself as the best big in the game.
I don't disagree with you in terms of what I need to see from AD as well. But again, it's a news flash to me that you're saying that about AD in terms of the best. But there's no question that what you highlighted about Embiid is absolutely true, because we know that Embiid does it on both ends. And if he's healthy and stays healthy and he's in shape, and he continues to play the way that he's playing, we're not going to sit up there and put Anthony Davis above Joel Embiid. If Anthony Davis is shooting 29% from three-point range, his durability is a question mark, and teams are thinking that he's a bit soft and you can get to him physically. And by soft, I mean physically. I'm not talking about his heart, his guts, or anything like that. I'm just talking about his durability. If that's going to be a huge question mark, it remains to be seen what will happen.
All right, Lakers net rating falls from 14 to -4 without LeBron on the court when it's just AD. The new tagline of the show is going to be, it's fluid. And that's not okay, fellas. When we come back here on First Take, we got some NFL to discuss with the projected